Okay, hello, hello. How's everybody?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Uh,
Have we recovered from the teaser trailer?
you sound super quiet. Is it
No, it's just my voice.
make you louder, I guess?
No, it's fine. I don't have to.
Okay, I bumped you up.
Oh dear.
Okay, so hello. So
Hello.
we're here. Oh wow, now you're super loud.
Yeah, see, I told you
So,
didn't have to.
I just thought we'd have a quick little live stream and look at the tease. Look at the tease. That is the super. That is the man.
I don't know if that's a good idea, but
That's fine.
we can do it in like still frames. But
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, I'll just skip around here like this. Boom, boom, boom. How everybody do? How everybody doing?
Hey.
So I don't know how long we're gonna live stream for. I just wanted to chit chat about this real quick. Get a vibe check from everybody. Because I saw some naysayers already, like
What?
on our comments. Yeah. Now, to be fair, when I looked at the votes on the original upload for the teaser trailer, super strong. But on ours, it's like, oh, there's already some downvotes, and I was like, well, maybe it's because we already saw it. But I think it's just there. But I was looking at the comments, and there were some people who were like, oh no, is no, it looks like crap, and I'm like, what did
How?
you guys
I
see?
think I saw one person say it looked like a CW show, which I mean, whatever. I'm gonna go out there and say I like the CW.
Well, okay.
So
Here's the reason for that. I can tell you exactly why that is. Oh shit, I forgot about this. Oopsie
what?
daisy. I forgot to refresh this page so we get the chats on the screen here. Um, Come on, go up. There we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted.
Mark Richardson
There we
says
go.
the electric guitar theme sounds so fucking epic. I agree. It's so good. It's such like a nice nod
Okay,
to the original theme.
so here's why it looks like a CW show to some of you guys, and I totally understand why. It's the line, the blur, the line between cinema and TV is so blurred now. TV looks so good that movies look like TV shows because they're
Sure.
shooting with the same gear. They're like the TV shows are so well produced, but the thing is, the visual effects that you're seeing in that trailer is nothing like you see on TV, except for when you're watching something like Disney Plus, maybe, or Amazon Prime's The Rings of Power. I don't watch that show, but they spent $1 billion on that, right? And so there are instances where you're going to see stuff that looks like, you know what I mean? There's there's going to be instances where I'm sorry, it's really early and I barely got any sleep because I was so excited about the teaser. There are instances where you're going to see visual effects look as good as movies, like Disney Plus, like Amazon Prime.
Right.
But otherwise, you're shooting with the same gear. Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender was shot on the volume, and that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the people are working on both projects. It's like we just saw the Daniels directed one episode of The Skeleton Crew. It's like the people who work on movies are also working on TV.
Yes. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
it looking like CW like 10 years ago, okay, that's an insult. Today, it's like, is it though? You know what I mean? Am I making any kind of sense?
Yes, yes,
All
yes.
right.
And Nikhil Bogdaneni makes a good point. Says it's still a while out, isn't it? It's still a while out, right? Isn't most of the VFX and CG unpolished anyway? I mean, it looks pretty good to
Oh,
me.
someone
So
said the song gave Top Gun vibes. I totally feel
yeah,
that. That was from Cliffs on Moherb Film Reviews. I totally feel that. Yes, it did give Top Gun vibes to a certain degree. You have the chat right here in front of you on the laptop if you
yeah,
wanna.
I know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I need to fix something, so you can go ahead and respond real
yeah.
quick.
Um, Matt Colton says Brosnahan reminds me of Superman and Lois is Lois. Ah, a little bit maybe, but I think like I really I really like the pick actually for our two leads because I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I mean I've seen a bit of. I still have to catch up on, but she was fantastic in that. And as far as David goes, I don't really remember him from anything before, but I think like that works really well for our two leads and particularly for Superman because he can come into this where people don't really have much of a preconception about who he is as an actor, as a
I like that.
star.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he's coming into this really fresh, and it's a positive for the franchise, I think, because there's nothing really attached to him, so he just gets to become Superman, and it's awesome to think that he's going to be the new Superman
Well,
for like a new generation.
presumably, assuming this does well.
If this
Yeah.
does well,
Yeah,
otherwise
because we
he'll
had
just,
we had a movie called Superman Returns, and that was one and done.
wasn't that what's his name, Brandon Routh?
So the
But
first thing
yeah.
I noticed, if I'm being completely honest, is the boots. I don't know why. My eyes went straight to the boots, and I don't know what it is about it. Nothing wrong with it. I just like
No, but okay, so you said to me off screen, you were like, "Did you not like that first outfit?" And I was like, "No, I like it. I like that they're showing him in this scene clearly. He is very new to this. He's wearing clothes that he cobbled together. It's like a long sleeve with red underwear pulled on over like long johns and a cape. And there was something that James Gunn and David said in the press conference.
we have a hard time with David's last name.
Corin Sweat. There it
Corin
is.
Sweat.
That they said during the press conference, which really stuck with me. And it was a story that James Gunn had relayed about something that David had said when talking about the costume. And the question was, why does Superman wear his underwear outside? And David goes, because he doesn't want to be scary to children. And that really stuck with me. And I love how that
stuck with James Gunn as well.
Yeah.
Because James Gunn was very reluctant to deal with all the colors initially.
Yeah, he's like, why is it so colorful?
Yeah.
And he's like, because he doesn't want to be scary
Yeah.
to children.
Yeah.
And that totally makes sense. And I had never really thought about it that way. And that's what I'm so excited to see how David Corin Sweat brings himself to the character, because he's clearly given this a lot of thought.
I had to actively like shut off the joke voice in my head when they started talking about kids. Because like they
Why?
kept going, he doesn't want to be scary to children. He doesn't want to be scared of children. He wants children to like him. And I'm like, this sounds so weird. But like that's because of like all the I don't know, years of jokes about stuff like that, and the associations with men and children, and that being negative.
Right.
And it's like whereas women can like be cool with children, and that's okay. But we're in an era where like people are very, very, very afraid of that stuff, and I'm like, okay, hold on, shut that off. We're talking about the coolest guy ever, right?
Right. And
so-
that's the thing about the character too. It's like he's freaking Superman.
Yeah.
Like you love him.
Yeah.
And they really played up to that in the teaser as well, with all of the children. Like, who does he save first in the teaser? It's a kid.
Yeah.
Who puts up the flag calling his name and asking for help? It's a kid. And so like that just really, hit home for me.
Real quick, we have a. Oh, okay, hold on. Where is it? Why can't I hit the right button? Oh, it's this. I got it. Okay, and boom. Oh, it's not showing the whole dang thing. Almost there. Jaby, fix it quickly.
What?
Sorry, I just have to like make this smaller, maybe. There we go.
Hold up. It's like Batman shows his crazy intelligence since he wears his underpants outside, but they're black.
Okay, screw it. You guys can see it. So, excited. This is from Ike. Thank you so much, Ike, for the very first super chat of the live stream. Excited about two things. Frumpy Clark looks like Clark from All-Star Superman. And number two, Superman isn't shredded, no muscles. Big blue, big country, Kansas. Okay.
Yeah, I like this look for Clark too. And like I said in the teaser reaction, I just watched the one with Christopher Reeve. And what really struck me was just how I could believe that you would not realize that Clark is the same person as Superman, because I think that Christopher Reeve did such a really great job when he plays Clark Kent. Kind of has like a different posture. His voice changes. He looks a little different. Because as a kid, I always had the question. I was like, well, I can tell that Clark Kent is Superman, just that he's wearing glasses. How come these bozos can't figure it out?
Right.
But like there was something just in the presentation, I think when you do it right and Clark Kent feels different than Superman, you can kind of buy into the whole like, yeah, I guess you would kind of overlook Clark Kent and be like, he's not cool enough to be Superman. He doesn't have that vibe because Superman's so cool, you know?
Matt Colton says David said he compared him to a wrestler relating to people, and I think that I overheard in the discussion that the whole wrestler thing is part of the origins of how the Superman costume was developed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like, so I have no idea if that's true. Like, that's kind of what I heard during the discussion. Honestly, like, just like how I feel now, when we went to the conference, there was a part of me that was like, okay. I'm like, I'm just yawning because I'm tired, because I'm like, I barely got any sleep before the conference because I've been sleeping so late editing and stuff like that. And so anyway, yeah, like, I was trying to like stay as focused as possible, but yeah, like, that's one of the things that I heard was just that the origins, and that's why like his outfit's kind of like that. And so the look of the red underwear kind of makes more sense when you look at it from the perspective of a wrestler,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And so one of the things that stood out to me during the discussion, after the teaser was shown, let me make sure the chat can be seen. One of the things that stood out to me was the way James Gunn talked about the vibe that he wanted to conduct on set.
Yeah.
And that actually makes more sense of the casting to me, because he really, it's going back to like a more, dare I say, innocent sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Innocent feeling. And he was really adamant about how everybody treated each other on this particular set. You know, it wasn't like the set of what was that called? I can't remember the name of that movie all of a sudden.
Which
It's
one?
escape. It'll come to me later when I'm not thinking about it too hard. There's a director who directed the movie Three Kings, and he like famously always like terrorizes the set.
Oh.
And there's a film he did that I can't remember the name of, but where he just went off on one, and that's not what James Gunn wanted to do. He wanted to make it like as loving as possible. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yes.
He's trying to make it a loving environment.
Because Superman's about the love.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get to. It's almost like this hippy dippy sort of attitude to the whole thing. And I was like, this is fascinating. And I feel that, you know? I felt that from him talking about it, his passion about it, and seeing it in the teaser. Like, I am totally getting that sense. And it completely contrasts the Zack Snyder version of it. And so for the people who love the Zack Snyder edition of Superman,
Yeah.
Man of Steel, I can understand maybe some of the vitriol or reaction, the resistance that they're feeling to it, because they're so in love with what Zack Snyder had done, and they're still bitter about Henry Cavill being,
Replaced. Yeah.
and unceremoniously exited from the DC universe like that. You know, and so I can understand where they're coming from, but like, you have to have an open mind. Like, this is a new vision, and I'm actually like quite excited about it. You know, Chara asked me after the teaser was done at the conference, like, what'd you think? And I'm like, pretty boring. She's like, what? And I'm like, I'm just joking.
I know.
Like, obviously it was awesome.
I couldn't believe it when he was like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring. I was like, did we just watch the same trailer?
Yeah.
This looks so good.
It was David O. Russell. David O. Russell's who I was thinking of, who terrorized the set. And yeah, so sorry. That's yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's what I was taking it to, is the casting, because David what's his name?
Corn
Sweat. Yeah, like he's super nice. Like, dang. He was very
So
friendly.
nice.
Not an ounce of Hollywood in his behavior at all. Him and Rachel. Yeah, neither one of them have an ounce of that sort of like Hollywood diva vibe to them. Now, granted, we're in this environment. It's their teaser. This is like a huge deal for them. But I've experienced weird behavior on another DC event from a certain celebrity that has also been exited from the, from the scene. And so,
tea is being spilled.
I've talked about that before, though. I've already talked about that to ad nauseum.
Oh wait, which one?
Yeah.
The one that's super fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Millennium Lancet Corn Sweat in the thing, and I was
know,
like, that's what I read as well.
That's how I remember
That's how I read it as well. I was like, corn sweating. I Heart Huckabees. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you so much, Charles Becerra. It was I Heart Huckabees. That's how you say his name, right? Becerra? Charles Becerra. I'm hoping I'm saying your name correctly, Charles. Oh, why isn't that updating?
Sorry.
Hold on a second. Oh, there it is.
Ah,
That's why it's not updating.
okay.
Thank you, Charles Becerra. So yeah, it was like that. David O. Russell is like notoriously bad on set. You know, he's a genius, but he's also just manic and he'll fly off the handle. And
Yeah, not
so,
into that vibe.
what was also fascinating was hearing David Cornsweet talk about
Corn sweat.
it's Corin Sweat, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
CORE.
So one of the things he had talked
and-
about at the conference was how he didn't actually feel like Superman initially. Like he had the costume on. Like one of the things that he mentioned people always ask about is how did you feel when you first put on the costume? He's like, well, it wasn't like I just put it on because they're trying out different parts of the costume until it's final, right? And so he didn't really like get that sense until he walked out on set for the first time in the costume and saw it through everybody else's eyes when they were looking at him. Then he was like, oh, I'm feeling like Superman through their eyes.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And what was even more fun, I wish like I hope they put out the recording of the conference. What was even more fun was hearing Rachel talk about it because she said at one point, you'll have to forgive my language if you're watching this on without headphones on. But at one point they're like walking through a field together, right? And she's behind him, and he's in the Superman outfit. And she was like, "You're fucking Superman!" And she was so excited.
Yeah, she's so cute.
And I was like,
"You're fucking Superman."
I am not talking about Aquaman, Lucky Smurf. Yeah, it's like her like that made everyone in the theater seats laugh.
Yeah,
You know, it made
'cause
it.
that's how we feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she put everybody at ease. You know, because I remember when the questions started hitting David. At first, I didn't know what to think of him because he was asked a poignant question. And he goes, you know, and then he took a long time to get through his answer. And it was like very methodical. I'm like, this guy's like this thespian sort of response. And I'm just like, I'm prepared to fully dislike him. But then in the lobby, when he was taking photos with everybody, he was like super chill and happy. And he was holding the phone for people and doing the
Yeah,
selfies.
he was like,
I
"Here,
was like,
I
oh,
have long
okay.
arms. Let me do the selfie."
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was like, "Oh, that's really cute."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where's my.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's another super.
Michele Failacci, am I saying that right? David Cornsweet reminds me of a young Christopher Reeve. Absolutely.
Cliffs of Moher Film Review says, who was the gray alien towards the end of the trailer? I wish I could tell you. I have no idea.
Not a clue.
But speaking of the trailer.
I like the kaiju looking thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Well, what's been established,
It's
and I
wild.
mentioned this in the discussion. Some of you probably already knew this. I didn't until James Gunn said it. But this is a version of the history for Superman where there's already superheroes and whatnot that exist in this world. So Superman is coming into his own in a world that already has other superheroes. By the way, this first shot, I'm trying not to play it because I don't want to get this stream demonetized. This first shot with the slow motion and everything,
Yeah.
there was a part of me that thinks, I'm done with slow-mo. And then they whip out this shit, and I'm like, this is dope.
Yeah.
Like, all the particles and everything as he's rescuing this person looks great.
This little girl in like her quintessential little girl outfit. It looks like a school uniform maybe or something, but adorable.
One thing I forgot to point out, because I mentioned in our discussion for the teaser reaction.
Metamorpho is the name of the alien.
I mentioned in our teaser reaction that there does seem to be like this hybrid of the old Christopher Reeve vibe with the Zack Snyder vibe. Obviously, I feel like it's finding a nice balance between the two. But one of the reasons why I thought of Zack Snyder is because I feel like the first time I saw Superman fly the way he does was in Zack Snyder's, because there's like this like boom, boom, like this extra bullet effect that happens afterwards. That was the first time I ever saw that, and I thought that shit was dope. Was in Man of Steel. And I thought I saw a similar thing here when he flies up into the sky with Lois, and like part of me goes, how does her neck not snap? But whatever.
Been doing some extra neck exercises.
Sure, you'll need to at the gym with the little strap on your head.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to like look at some of these chats. Someone said something about the Vader suit, like Darth Vader, like the first time Hayden Christensen put it on. I'll work my way backwards. Creature Commandos starts building the world. People should start watching it. Okay. All right. Greg made James Gunn happy when he's like, "I love Creature Commandos." James Gunn, that put a big smile on his face. And,
Aw.
yeah, I didn't really hear all of the discussion. That's just one part of it that I had heard. Because like when we took a picture with James Gunn, we weren't allowed to have a chat with him
No,
because he had to go.
the only way we could even get close was because people were like conducting weird little interviews and chatting and stuff, and we were like, "Can we just take a picture? Promise, it's literally going to be
Yeah,
a picture,
yeah,
and then we'll leave him alone because
yeah.
he had to get to another engagement or
So
something."
Ike says, "I bet saving the kid was one minor part of a multi-save sequence." That makes sense.
That makes so
Yeah,
much sense. Yeah,
I would imagine that this whole thing, this is just one part of several of freaking.
of course he would save the kid.
There it is.
Children are the future.
Yeah, I would imagine that this is just one part of many saves. I love the look of Luther Corp, by the way. This is righteous. Like the notion that he's got like two buildings, almost like the Malaysian towers. Is it
Yeah, yeah,
Malaysia?
yeah.
And then his office is like on the bridge, is what it looks like. That's sick. I love this design. I've never seen a super baddie with a design like that, because Luther Corp is always like just on the top floor of an office building.
Yeah.
You know, with red carpet for some reason. So
Milkias Samuel says, "I am excited to see him as Lex Luthor, Nicholas Holt, since Nicholas Holt could genuinely deliver a great performance as Lex and show general audiences what makes Lex Superman's perfect rival / villain." Yeah. Do you know who my favorite
what?
Lex Luthor is?
Who?
The one from Smallville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I just like the backstory of how they were kind of like
My buddy played
friends
him.
and then not.
My buddy played him as a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was Lex Luthor, is like the young Lex Luthor.
Very cool.
Wayne Dalglish.
Huh.
Mhm.
Did he have to shave his
Yeah.
head? Wow.
Yeah, that was a big role for him. And now he's like a huge stunt coordinator. He worked on Guardians 3. He might have worked on this, actually, now that I think about it. Wayne Dalglish.
Did
So
Wonder Woman. Well,
yes, he
didn't
did Wonder Woman as
Yeah.
well. He's made it big as a stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
So Karate Kid trailer reaction. I told Char about that. Like, things have just been nuts. We prioritized this over the Karate Kid.
Sorry. Don't
so
say that.
We had to. Like, in terms of just
Yeah.
like the time that we could have given, you know. Why no Creature Commandos reaction? We just haven't gotten to it. Again, like, there's just everything is like a hierarchy list of like what we're prioritizing, and that just like it fell to the bottom of the priority list. But I don't know. We'll try to get to it. Are people still excited for us to do
Do
it?
you guys want us to do a reaction
You
to
can do-
Creature
you can do
Commandos? I mean, I was
a
thinking about
do you
watching that
call it?
on my own anyway, but if you guys
A
want to
poll.
see a reaction, then by all means.
Yeah, that's what I see too. Looks similar to Zack Snyder's actually, but with an even more hopeful tone. Yes.
Yes.
It's the hopeful tone because it's not very dark. Like Zack Snyder's colors are more muted, whereas this like feels more like the comic books that I remember growing up with. Now, I know that this is based on a particular comic book that I am not familiar with, but like I did read Superman as a kid. The very first comics I ever read was Superman and Batman and stuff like that. And so, actually, I read more Superman than Batman as a kid. But yeah, have you ever had a chance to? Gunn did say he had a lot of inspiration from Zack's version. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but the thing as well that like really stood out to me with what James Gunn was saying at the press conference was that it was really important to him that the teaser echoed the movie, like what you would feel in the movie.
That's true.
And the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I want to cry.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if it's the music, I don't know if it's the visuals,
Or the dog.
or yeah, or like just a combination of everything. And I was like, I feel so emotional. And then James Gunn was like, yeah, we wanted it to feel emotional. And so I'm like really hopeful, that is gonna be a big part of the movie, because that's actually like my favorite.
Well, the part that got me was seeing him with his pops. Yeah, like this stuff
Yeah.
right here is what got me. But maybe that's because of personal reasons. But I just think that the imagery that they had here. Let me see if I can. Oh, no audio. How do I turn that off? There it is. Off. There we go. There's a moment where it's a shot from behind. That I don't know what it is about this that just like touched my heart. But anyway, we have a super real quick. I wanted to there. Love y'all guys. Love the trailer. I do hope we as a society stop comparing this movie to other projects and let this stand on its own. Feels like we're getting the MOS comparisons too soon. You know, I'm not mad at that. I understand where you're coming from, and I respect that. And like, if you're able to do that, that's more power to you. I feel like it's a little bit impossible to not compare, just
Yeah,
because it's like it's all part of the culture. It's part of the It's been part of the conversation. It's not like we're 20 years removed from the last Superman movie. You know, I know that we haven't had like a standalone Superman movie in some time, but it's like when we had a new Joker, for instance, it wasn't that far away from the Dark Knight, and so the
sure.
comparisons cannot be helped, right? Even when Heath Ledger came on the scene, we were well removed, like 20 years removed from 1989 Batman when Heath Ledger came on the scene, and there were still comparisons being made
And
then.
yet,
Yeah,
it was like, he's
right.
no Jack
It's
Nicholson.
so all I'm trying to say is that like I feel like comparisons are a natural thing, but yes, like do try to give it its own effort. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it's like let it hit you as without, you know, divorced from the other films as much as you possibly can. So I apologize if I sound like I got marbles in my mouth or just like bleh. It's really really early for us. So where are we? I'm trying to get to that is what I wanted. Uh,
I had to take a nap after
Here we go. Okay,
the
so
trailer.
Ike says, guys, please consider All-Star Superman animated movie if it fits in the schedule. I see a lot of Clark Superman costume inspiration from that. All right. You want to write that down and be
Sure,
super
sure,
dope.
sure.
Um, so Pranav bot, hey Jaby and Tubby. That's not very nice, dude. But thank you. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, how many of you guys have watched the All-Star Superman that he's referring to? I'm not familiar with that one. Right there. Where are we? The first scene is a ripoff of Man of Steel, but it's done worse. I can't remember Man of Steel all that well. I'll have to go home and pop in my 4K Blu-ray and check out what you're talking about. Guy Gardner looks comic accurate. You look up Guy Gardner. I don't know who that
Guy
is.
Gardner.
Yeah. My review of the trailer. I love everything except for how they cut it. Extremely. Why didn't you like how they cut it? Extremely excited for a more happy, colorful, positive
Oh
story for superheroes.
yeah, he was the guy with the laser.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
green.
The Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's not the Green Lantern.
well, the
Is he? Is he? Oh, he is a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Extremely excited for a more happy, colorful, positive story for superheroes, but the teaser trailer was better. But the teaser was better in my opinion. I didn't see that. I didn't see the teaser to the teaser. More focused. Well, this teaser is unorthodox, just so you guys know, in that James Gunn had a heavy hand in its editing. He was very particular, as Achara said earlier, about how it was executed, which I actually really appreciate. I like it when directors are able to have a hand in that stuff
Yeah.
because, you know, there have been too many instances where stuff is given away. You know what I mean? Because like the trailer handled it or the producers, you know, decided that they needed to give more shit away and they ruined the whole movie. That's how I felt about Wicked. I haven't seen Wicked yet, but like that's how I felt about the teaser or the trailer. It's like I don't need to watch this movie. I can see the whole
But we
thing.
will.
Yeah. So,
Um,
Chris Smith, what? Go ahead.
KTA says, even though Guardians was successful, I'm still worried the movie will be cluttered with characters and not enough focus on Superman.
I felt like I saw a lot of Superman in there, but sure, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and yeah, that is a concern, but we don't know how the characters are going to be presented, if they're just going to be like kind of there, but Superman is the most important. I would hope.
No, okay, so I don't love every single James Gunn movie, but I have confidence in his ability to have a dynamic, full cast. You know, an ensemble.
Sure.
Not that this is being sold as an ensemble, because it doesn't seem to be. It's being sold as a Superman movie, and it just so happens to have these other characters in it. I have confidence in his ability to execute this. You know,
Yeah.
this for me is almost, even though they're both superhero films, like everything James Gunn has done, most of what he's done that's noteworthy is superhero related, right? But it feels so different in that like I compared it immediately, even though it's not quite the same, of Peter Jackson going from The Frighteners to Lord of the Rings. Those two films are wildly different vibes, and Lord of the Rings just works. And I think that James Gunn really understands the tone that he has to strike here. And so I'm very excited for, what's entailed here. Chris Smith says, I agree, Enchante, because I'm working my way backwards in this dialogue. I agree, Enchante, they have so many characters, it makes it feel goofy and low rate to me. I understand the apprehension and the concerns. I think that I'm going to just hold out any judgment on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll need to see. Maybe when we watch it, we'll be like, yeah, actually, that was an issue.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Get out. Okay, so where are we?
I like Joe Jerkoff's comment about, I love the atypical choice for Krypto to be a scraggly little guy. I think that's cute. You can be a scraggly little guy and be a super cool super dog.
Gerald Boney looks good. Still not a fan of the return of the underwear, but oh well.
It's to not scare children.
Jamila Akafudin, probably said that wrong. I was a bit skeptical at first when they replaced Henry Cavill, but after watching the teaser trailer, it looks promising.
Yeah, change is hard. And especially because we loved Henry Cavill. He's, an icon. And so, yeah, it's hard. But then, yeah, same. I watched this and I was like, you know what? I think I'm sold. He seems great.
So we have a super chat from Kunav Bathur. Hey, all. I think this is the first appearance of Krypto, if I'm not mistaken. It's the first time I've ever seen him in live action.
I've never seen him in live action. I haven't even watched the Super Pets one. So, yeah. I don't really know anything about Krypto, but I love that there's a super dog. And they did say, David was like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but, like, yeah, he looks cute and all, but...
Yeah, at one point, at one point during the discussion, it was interesting because David, he's like taking pauses as he's talking and goes, "I'm sorry, I'm just not used to this where I have to not share spoilers." And he starts talking and goes, he just stops talking because he can't figure out a way to navigate outside of because he's trying not to give anything away. He's like, you're sworn to secrecy until the movie, right?
Yeah.
Until it comes out. I can't imagine how difficult that is. And that actually made sense of why he was taking more time with each of his responses.
Right. Because he's like, what can I say?
Yeah.
That's not going to give away the arc of the movie or the character or anything like that. But yeah, he said that Krypto seems cute, but apparently he's got a bit of a sassy attitude. So.
Nia Nguyen says the feels of this trailer does not match the teaser poster. They tricked us. I disagree. I feel like it actually quite.
Yeah, it feels really
I think it matches quite well.
Inspirational and hopeful.
Yeah. So, but to what Kunaf Bathor was saying, I feel like I remember seeing images of the puppy or the dog in poster drawings and stuff like that.
Like comics.
Well, just in terms of talking about this project.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had seen stuff about the dog, and so when I saw him running up in the teaser trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, I was connecting it. Yeah.
I didn't know at first when that was coming, I didn't know what that was. I was like, wait, is it an animal? It looks scary though, because it's just like this cloud of white in the snow, and I was like, oh my god, is this the bad guy? And then it comes out and it's like a freaking cute dog.
He was whistling, so it seemed quite obvious to me what was happening.
Well,
yeah.
I just think that everything's out to get me. Yeah. Okay.
So Cliffs of Moher Film Review says, I enjoyed your movie, Jaby. You inspired me to make my own movie. It's a mystery thriller. Filmmaking is definitely my calling. Love your channel. Well, hey man, that's dope to hear. I'm glad to hear that you were inspired to go do your own.
Yeah.
That inspires me to do even more. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what he's talking about, I made a short film called Love Punch Kill. Shameless plug. I encourage you to check it out. It's something that we worked really hard on, that we produced. And so all I ask is that if you decide to watch it, just watch it all the way to the end, because I feel like some people are missing out on some stuff, including the epic fight scene that happens in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, because you see, when you do YouTube videos, one of the first things you notice is the watch time of a video. I'm like, how are they they're not getting the whole story here. So there's a lot that happens. I decided not to make it like a TikTok video. I wanted to feel like a movie. So I didn't rush through anything. Um, so Watcher Robot says, I think it looks good. I do have a few nitpicks. I think the trailer is a bit generic. I think the Green Lantern's suit was questionable. I feel you on the Green Lantern suit, but the thing is, like, I need to see it in action before I say anything.
Right,
You
yeah. Like
know?
I didn't even honestly, I didn't even realize that was a Green Lantern because I was like, that doesn't look like a Green Lantern to me.
Honestly, like, I okay. In full transparency, when I saw him in the teaser, he looked kind of like a bad guy to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought he was a bad guy. It's the
yeah.
haircut.
Okay.
It's the haircut because he
Um,
looks like the Riddler.
gotcha. Gopalo01 says, I'm really looking forward to seeing Lois and Clark's story. It seems that there were a lot of scenes between the two. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That's what I got. It seemed like a love story, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, there's a reaction to Superman with Christopher Reeve, the Superman movie. It's going to be coming out at some point. I shot that with Kristen. We love the shit out of it. So you have that to look forward to. But one thing we didn't realize when we were watching it, we're like, wow, so much romance,
Yeah,
so much love story. Was
yeah.
not expecting this. It was so freaking cute.
I mean, that's how
And
you get the James Cameron effect.
yeah, if you bring more of that back in, like,
Yeah.
I'm sold 100%.
Yeah, so James Cameron always has the same formula, and it's so effective.
It works.
And that formula is like high concept, action,
Yeah.
but you have to or just like a huge set piece like
Yeah,
Titanic.
like Titanic. Yeah.
But you have to infuse the core of it is a love story. You know, The Abyss. It's like this crazy like high concept thing that
Yeah.
underground in the abyss, but at the heart of it there's a love story.
There's a
there.
love story.
Yeah.
You gotta root it in something.
The rock music they used was just wrong. I disagree. I'm sorry to say this does not look good for the new DCU. I disagree with that.
I like
I disagree.
the rock
But I
music.
appreciate your input. I appreciate your take. But I disagree with that. The trailer is cool. Meta the Menace. Oh, so someone said something about the learning the fly in the snow. Ike, he said Superman falling towards the snow. Common denominator is the snow, but the snow has been a thing since Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah, because the Fortress of Solitude is
Yeah.
always in the snow.
Exactly.
Like, no one's gonna come hang out and find you there.
Yeah, and he's not learning to fly in this teaser when he falls in the snow. He got beat up.
It looks like he got beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you? I mean, unless he did that to himself, but it feels like he
The
got.
sky's kicking his ass.
I know. It feels like he got beat up, which is such an interesting way to start it. It's like we know him as the strongest man in the world. He's basically invulnerable, and it's like, what happened to you?
Yeah, I mean he definitely got hurt. Like
Yeah,
he's hurt.
he's hurt. That looks like someone like
Hurt him.
bopped him in the face a few times.
Yeah.
Or like
Um.
threw him in a wall.
So I asked Coy. I was like, "What do you think of the Superman logo?" Because when I first saw it, I wasn't hip to it. That he said something that made me like it. He's like, "Oh, I love it because it looks like a symbol now, as opposed to Times New Roman." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." I definitely like it more than the Man of Steel one, because it does.
This colorful one?
No, just the design of it.
Ah.
The design of it looks like a symbol, as opposed to what we've seen before.
Right.
Where like the Superman Christopher Reeve one. Also, I mean that's the Times New Roman sort of design that he's talking about, and then the one in Man of Steel, as I recall, just looked like really more flamboyant or something. I don't know what I can't remember like in my brain, in my mind's
Right.
eye, what exactly it looked like, but it had a more like fancy look to it, whereas this definitely looks like a symbol, you know. So
Yeah, I'm really digging the like first costume being as colorful and like underpanty as it is. I think there's just something really endearing about it. Like in much the same way as when we watched Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man makes his suit and it's kind of like baggy and like it's just clothes, you know, and like a hoodie and whatever. But he made it.
yeah,
And there's just something quite endearing about that, where it's like he wants to help so badly and he knows he needs a uniform, he knows he needs an outfit, and he's
Right.
like, well, what can I scrap together?
right.
You know?
And so we have a couple super chats I want to respond to real fast. Why is this? YouTube's so bizarre. Like usually it gives me the thing up top here, and now it's not doing that. Okay, so Joe Jerkoff says, I love the tone, but the visuals are off to me. I would have preferred they go all in on the classic Art Deco retro futurism. Trunks are peak Superman.
Trunks are peak Superman.
Well, thank you
I
for the super dude.
agree with
Um,
that.
I I don't know. Like I really like the look of this. Like even the Daily Planet. I remember what the Daily Planet looked like in the Christopher Reeve movie, and that looked more like just a regular office. This looks so cool. Like it's very spacious with the high ceilings.
Ceilings, yeah.
It looks almost like Grand Central Station, but like in the best of ways.
Yeah.
You know, and it has got that busyness. You know, busybodies running around doing stuff. You know, I just really love this design of the Daily Planet. I think it's super cool. I like the colors. I like the tone visually. Yeah, I'm really into it so far. Pranav Bot says, have you thought about doing a Patreon hangout this month, last Sunday of this month? Um, to be honest with you, we've been so slammed because we're putting out videos every single day across multiple channels. So no, we haven't thought about that, but we'll try. It's just that we work on Sundays as well, and so we're like, basically working every day for the rest of the month, even on Christmas potentially.
Yeah.
Hope T, it's not even rock music really; it's an electronic infusion of the original theme. So what's funny was someone at the press conference who honestly looked like an old Clark Kent to me. He was like, because he even put on the glasses and he had the wavy hair and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
He's like, was Jimi Hendrix an inspiration for this? Because it reminded me of the Jimi Hendrix national anthem, the Jimi Hendrix version of the national anthem.
Uh-huh.
And James Gunn went into his whole thing about it, talking about the
music,
theme
like
and how
what, yeah.
how it was fused together. And then the guy was like, but is it Jimi Hendrix inspired? And James Gunn's like, no. But he was relentless that it's like, no, it's Jimi Hendrix, right? So yeah, that was fun. Oh, I missed. Okay, so Hope T. James Gunn has said this is not an origin story, it's in the middle of the action. I actually like that. We've seen a lot of the origin things.
We know the origin
You
at
know?
this point, right? And if you don't, there's plenty of other movies that you could
But you know what?
watch.
I wouldn't mind it if like the opening credits was like super slow motion and you saw his origin of like, you know, being in the dark alley and his parents getting shot and the pearl necklace
Right,
falling
because
into
that's
the water.
so iconically Superman.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super slow motion.
Yeah.
Credits.
No.
Yeah.
Martha.
No, I'm just joking,
Yeah,
obviously.
no, obviously that's Batman.
No, but just coming into the middle of it, I think actually works. That's fine by me. I mean, we all know the Superman origin story. I feel like at this point, look like how Batman was already 1 year into doing his work. I'm into that. Thank you, Hope T. Music sounded awesome. I'm already ready to add the score theme to my Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you know when the Wonder Woman theme came out, the first Wonder Woman movie, like that was so iconic. Of the Wonder Woman's theme
in Man of Steel, in Batman v Superman.
No, in Wonder Woman.
In Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I heard the theme was in Batman v Superman.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's
whatever.
that's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, I just think that theme was so good as well, and it's just so her, and like this theme is just so Superman. Like you know it.
Oh, KTA, that's what it was. Okay, so he says I kind of wish they showed him breaking the sound barrier while flying like Henry's Superman. I thought that's what they did, like when he was going up into the sky. Maybe I was projecting.
Yeah, you were probably projecting. There's no way he can break the sound barrier and bring Lois with him.
Why not?
Because
We're talking about a dude that can fly.
She would die.
He's fine.
He's fine. She wouldn't be.
It's fine.
He would be like, I killed the woman that I love. We can't have children now. No babies.
I think it's. I think we'd be all right. We'd forgive it. But let's see. Yeah, the snow comment was in reference to stealing from Man of Steel. That was a stretch in my opinion.
Every time I see MOS, I keep thinking of MOS like
movie sound,
like
without sound. Yeah, without sound.
Yeah, I'm like, what are we talking about?
The way they introduce him in a vulnerable state is another great way to communicate humility. This is not a god; it's the strongest person on earth. I like that too.
Yeah,
I like that too. Honestly, it kind of caught me off guard. It's like just seeing him curled up, almost like in a fetal position. But it was a great introduction. It's not, I think we're so used to seeing characters like Superman just be like indestructible.
yeah.
That's actually often how he's been introduced historically. Faster than a speeding bullet, and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
All of that.
Faster than a train or whatever. It's stronger than this and that. he's always shown to be impervious. It's just super, super, super indestructible. But showing him weakened is actually quite surprising and a different take. So he goes through a lot, is what is obvious to me in this movie.
Yeah, and for me, like, I don't know if I've said this before, but sometimes Superman hasn't always been my favorite hero. Okay, give me a minute. Don't come at me. Because, especially in the TV shows, sometimes, like, I'm talking about the one with Dean Cain. That's the one I grew up watching, right?
Okay.
He's just like, he's so strong.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, he's so perfect and strong and everything. And so for me, actually, him having vulnerability like kryptonite and that is super important. And also just the struggles that he goes through as Clark, that really endears him to me.
Yes.
Like, I love all of the Clark Kent stuff with Superman because I'm like, he's just a guy trying to figure it out. He's just a guy trying to get a girl to like him, you know? And I find all of that just so relatable because when he is like in full on Superman mode and he can't, he can't be beaten.
Yeah.
It's like, you're too perfect now, you know?
So Arun Anand, who's been a member for 6 months, says, I thought the trailer looked great, and it seems like a great entry point for new James Gunn DCU. I agree. And then Pranav Bhatt says, I'm asking you because you guys missed a lot since August up till now. Yeah, it's been very crazy the last few months. And so I've been telling Achara for a while that I want to not do the hangouts anymore just because it's stressful with everything happening. I don't want to bog down this live stream with talking about like it's inside baseball shit. There's just a lot happening all the time that it's like I just need a chance to like breathe. You know what I do in my free time? I reorganize my DVDs. That's what I do now because that's all I have time for. I don't even have the energy to turn on Netflix
to watch something, to play a video game, to do whatever. Yeah.
Although that said, I did manage to like pop on a video game recently, which made me really happy, which is Titanfall 2. If you guys haven't played Titanfall 2, it's hilariously fun. I love that game. And I like playing it for the first time actually in years brought a smile to my face. So my apologies, Pranav, that your wishes are unfulfilled. We can look into that. It's just like crazy. Like I've been pulling 12-hour days every day, it feels like. So, where are we in this chat? My Adventures with Superman is an amazing adaptation. Jack Quaid is the voice of Clark in that. Oh, I love the old school Batman logo here. You guys can see it, right? Bronco Marolia says having Superman wheeze was dumb. He wasn't fighting Doomsday. To have been beaten that horribly. Well, we don't know. I mean, the thing is, if he's bleeding, presumably he got hit with some kryptonite.
Yeah, it must have been. I can't imagine.
That's my assumption. Anytime you see him bleed, it's kryptonite that has affected him somehow. That weakens him to the point that he might bleed. So, I don't know, man. I think that that's too much judgment at this point at this stage. But I appreciate the Batman logo on your thing. Ike, thank you for another super chat. Superman by Siegel and Schuster and debates about his costume has just turned 85 years old.
Yeah.
Something we don't do with Marvel.
People have very strong opinions about his costume. I don't like. Well, it's. I don't think I've. I'm trying to think of like if there's ever been a moment where I've been like, I don't like this Superman costume. Whatever. He always looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you played Sonic X Shadows Generations before? I've played 2 different Sonic games recently. I don't remember the names of them. One that just came out, and then the one that came out before that. I bought both of them, and I've only been able to play them for like 1 session each, which is so frustrating. Again, going back to how busy we are. So Hope T, the wheezing was a jarring choice. I don't know what that caused. It seems like he was beat up.
Oh,
it could be stabbed by kryptonite. Oh, she's basically echoing what I said.
Yeah.
It could be kryptonite hit him. So
bleed.
Serenity Q26, kryptonite isn't the only way to make him bleed. Magic, a force stronger than his skin, can also make him bleed. Okay,
that's
cool.
right. Yeah,
that's
the magic thing.
They could have done much more with the costume. I feel like they took a step back in terms of what we got in the past. Well, that was by design. James Gunn. One of the things James Gunn said was he didn't want like the whole like
abs
fake washboard abs. and like he was reducing all that on purpose to take it back to its origins, and I'm all for it. Like sometimes when I see the abs in the costume, I just think that it does look kind of ridiculous. It's like, what, 'cause
Yeah.
we know it's just an outfit, but yeah, I'm very optimistic. Hearing him talk, hearing the cast talk about it, I'm very, very optimistic about this.
Yeah, and seeing the trailer, honestly, for me,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm in.
Because, like, honestly, like, I've been to other conferences. I won't say which ones I'm talking about. I've been to events where it was like a screening and then you hear from the cast and crew afterwards. So it's not like I'm not bedazzled by all this shit because of like the glitz and the glam. It's
And
like,
the
no,
buffet.
and the buffet. Like, I legit have watched it and I was like, this looks good. This has nothing to do with the room I was in because I can see that introducing bias. But I've been through this so many times at this point that I know how I feel about things. And I'm watching this and I'm going, this actually has strong potential. And I'm quite excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyway, all that said, I'll change my tune if I watch it and I don't like it.
Yeah, we know how outspoken you can be.
Yeah, exactly. The hypercriticism for this movie on Twitter and this chat is wild. Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that too, Hope T. I did see that. But I also am seeing people very excited, just like myself. So, let's see. Kunav Pathur says, I have a feeling that Krypto might sacrifice himself to save Superman in this movie.
No.
That would be painful to watch.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves and cry about something
Yeah.
we don't know about.
But then that would totally make sense, though, because dogs are so freaking loyal, too. I love dogs. I'm definitely a dog person.
I don't think they'd kill the dog. I don't
They-
think they would.
It wouldn't be a John Wick situation.
No, there's like a whole rule, like old people, kids, and dogs, except if it's like Old Yeller. You know what I mean? Like the dog has to be rabid.
Yeah.
You gotta put it down for it to be. But like generally speaking, even in the making of like Last of Us 2, they had to be very mindful about their approach because you have to kill dogs to get by in the game. But they made it so that you can avoid killing them altogether if you want.
Oh, okay.
Because people are really sensitive about dogs, and so it's like dogs, kids, and old people. You got to be very careful about.
Yeah, and then certain movies just don't give a shit.
As Ike says, abs in one costume away from nipples. George Clooney Batman.
Yeah.
It's just like weird. Hope T. I feel like the theater would turn on this movie if the dog turn on the movie. Like
They would just walk out. Yeah, they would just be like, no, dog dies. Hell no. But I suppose there's a difference. Like, for example, in John Wick, the dog gets killed, right?
Mhm.
And someone like Kristen, who is an animal lover, she was like, if I was not watching this movie for your channel, she would have rage quit the movie right then and there.
Mhm.
Like, how dare you, like, kill this beautiful animal? And then later on, it turns into a thing which, like, propels the story forward. But I think there's a difference between straight up just killing a dog versus a dog sacrificing its life to save its master.
Mhm, mhm.
That we can allow
Yeah.
because that is like the purity of the dog heart,
Okay. So is Gopala01 says the criticism was inevitable. The Snyderverse has a very loyal fan base. I think we get into the DCU and it hopefully does well. The criticism will get smaller and smaller by default. So
Yeah.
it's natural that you're going to see this kind of comparison because of how recent the last iteration was. Like, it wasn't that long ago that the not Shazam, but what's the one with The Rock?
Oh, Black Adam.
Black Adam. That was not that long ago,
Right.
and we saw Henry Cavill at the end of that. So it's not that long ago that he had just donned that costume, and now we're moving into this. There hasn't been like a resting period between the two. When I feel like there was a big gap between Batman and Robin and the Batman Begins.
Yeah.
It feels like there was a big gap in my mind, and like just kind of reflecting on it, or at least a bigger gap than what we got here. So I understand why people are comparing, but I'm excited. I'll just keep coming back to that. I'm excited. So, there is any chance that the Wild Robot reaction will be available? We're working on that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been rough.
I like that we got a scene of Clark saving a kid. I hope we get more. That was something I wish we had more of in the Snyderverse, even though I like some of those movies. Yeah. Well, no one watched Black Adam, so I'm sure it's fine. Actually, well, I feel like anyone who's like very loyal to the DC films watched Black Adam. I watched it, so I don't think we saw that at a screening. I think we just watched it, right?
We did see it at a
Oh, we did see it
screening.
at a screening.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry, I can't
Yeah.
remember anymore. Everything. Okay, so Diggy Movies or Digi Movies. I don't know what your other comment was. Jamila Akafudin. People are comparing this too much with the older versions. Let the movie stand on its own. I mean, I'm moving more and more towards that feeling during this conversation. I think James Gunn has earned the benefit of any doubt. The dude understands story. I agree with that. You
Yeah.
know, for the most part, I agree with that. And
Just
I don't.
give him a chance to tell his story, his
I,
version of this, right?
yeah, I don't love all of his movies. But I feel like he has hit more than he's missed for me.
Bye, Ike.
Yeah, bye. Ike. Thank you again for your super chats.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about the Snyderverse fan base, right? It's like I'm sure going into this, James Gunn knew, and he, in a way, has his work cut out for him because there is such a loyal fan base to the Snyderverse that he really has to come out the gate with something really, really strong and maybe something just like really different, a palate cleanser, if you will, to get people like excited for his vision of what the DC ought to be.
Oh, so Digimovie says that alien in the trailer is Metamorpho. Search it in Google.
I saw that comment.
Yeah. Have you watched any projects that David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnan is in?
I've only seen her in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and she was indeed marvelous.
Well, we saw Twisters.
Oh, he was in Twisters?
David.
Who was he in Twisters?
Wasn't he? Wasn't David in Twisters?
Who was he in Twisters?
Am I making this up?
I mean,
Weren't you the one who said that to me?
I did not say that to you.
Who said it to me?
Someone, you don't have a good memory.
I could have sworn that, or maybe it was Greg that said it to me.
Yeah.
I think Greg told me that he was in Twisters. He plays the bad guy in Twisters, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, I mixed it up. Sorry. Yeah, so Greg's the one that told me that when we were walking back to our cars.
Oh, the asshole. He was really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a name. It's Scott.
Whatever. He was the asshole.
Yeah.
In that movie. Yeah.
But anyway, so where are we? I guess we'll just do a few more comments and then bounce. He's the jerk with the glasses and sunglasses and Twisters. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him, to be
No.
honest with you. Because when I saw him, I was just like, I don't know who this dude is. I didn't make any connection to Twisters.
No.
Yeah.
Such a different vibe too.
Yeah.
It really shows his versatility because he's like so like sweet and nice or whatever, and then in Twisters he's such a dick.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the sweater? This is the sweater they gave us.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not wearing it right now.
It's actually I'm still wearing it because it's like super cozy on the inside and it's really soft, and I think this might just become one of my favorite lounging hoodies for at home.
So for the Creature Commandos poll, 63% said yes, and there was 217 votes.
Oh,
So
might be
at
worth it.
at the height of this stream, there were 230 concurrent viewers, and so 217 votes is actually pretty substantial. A lot of people voiced their opinion.
Right. Oh, you could even say it was 83% because the second one is not sure, but would watch it if you did. So.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I can't do math right now. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Yes, you're right. You're right. Last.
Yeah, that's a good point, David Michaels, that people weren't hyper fixated on the details of the characters in Guardians of the Galaxy, and if it was faithful to the comics and whatnot. Not the case with this one though, but that's different because I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy is not such a mainstream IP, or it wasn't before it came out in the cinemas, right?
Mhm.
Whereas Superman has been around apparently for 85 years. Like he's such a part of pop culture and American culture at that of course everybody's got an opinion about it. You know, you can kind of tell what generation you were born in when you think about who is your Superman. You know, like who is the one that you grew up with. There's a new one for every generation. There's been tons of TV shows and movies and comic books. So yeah, of course, people are going to have an opinion about who Superman is. Like it's really hard not to.
I just put up a poll for the remaining audience that's here still. I just put up a poll regarding the sweater. The reason I'm putting up a poll, because I know it seems silly, is just because I was taken aback by the design. Not in a bad way. It's just caught me off guard because like, I think superhero, I'm thinking like exciting, and this is not an exciting sweater. This is a very simple design, and I'm just wondering how people feel about it. I dig it.
It's like subtle but not subtle at the same time.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it looks to me more like just regular wear, and I dig that about it. It has it feels like less of a
costume.
I'm a nerdy guy wearing like my comic book T-shirt kind of vibe, like the shirts I used to wear all the time. I sometimes wear them still because I have a few that I love. I think one of them got stolen. Because I gave it to Kristen because she was gonna sew it like a bunch of my shirts together, and someone broke into her car and stole her sewing machine, which was like 30 grand or something, and stole like a bag of my clothes that she was gonna stitch together. And so I think
she was gonna make him a quilt for Christmas.
Yeah. So not my tempo, Paul Socrates.
Not my tempo.
I love the reference. I don't know if everyone gets that reference, but I love that reference. Joe Jerkoff says, I love it. Feels vibrant, simple.
It's also Superman. Like super comfy. It's so nice and fleecy on the inside.
Yeah, but I think my favorite shirt got stolen. Unfortunately, it was Bane holding out his arms, and then on the other side is My Little Pony.
Yeah.
It's just a fun shirt, and it's gone forever. Anyway, as is life sometimes, and it's all good. I was growing too big for it anyway. Like it was a tight fit.
My chest was too big for it.
My chest was like popping out, and everything was kind of like.
Oh, the struggle is real with the chest.
Yeah. Anyway.
I would not.
Rest in pepperoni. Yeah, poor Kristen. Exactly. She's fine. She'll be all right.
Yeah. Luckily, she wasn't hurt.
Red, yellow, and blue are Superman's color scheme. Anyway, it looks like most people are feeling positive about the sweater. It's fine. Love it. It's like at first glance, you don't know what you're looking at. It just looks like a regular like. Hip design, and you read it, you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
That's my feeling about it anyway.
Yeah, no, I love like stuff like that.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys, I am hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and thank you to all the super chatters today. Really appreciate that. I was not expecting any super chats, to be honest with you. I told Achara we'll do like a 15-minute live stream or something, and this has actually gone on a lot longer than I was expecting. So really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the feedback on the. I like hearing what you guys are feeling about the trailer.
Yeah.
Whether it's negative or positive or in between. Like I just appreciate hearing your feedback and having this dialogue with you guys. I really like the trailer. Honestly, I've watched it 3 times now.
Yeah.
And I think it looks cool, and I'm very excited to see more. The teaser. I should be clear about that. I'm excited to see the trailer. I'm excited to see the movie.
I'm excited for Casual Phenonymous's meal.
Yeah.
Cooking up meatball and eggs? Sounds great.
Yeah. You guys, thanks so much for hanging. Love y'all, and be well.